Hi everybody, welcome back. We are preparing for today's grab and go yoga practice. Grab some blocks if you want to use them, maybe a blanket, and I'll see you right back here. Hello again. We are starting today in tadpole pose. It's a nice yin yoga stretch. If you have a blanket, take it, unfold it all the way so that it extends well over the edges of the mat, the side edges of the mat. If you don't have a blanket, that's fine. You may find that you don't even need it. It does come in handy though, because the knees will be off the mat and that may get tough on the knees being on the floor. So feel free, if you prefer, to take child's pose. That way the knees easily stay on the mat and the big toes still touch together. It's just a dialed back version of this stretch that we're setting up. So if you're coming into tadpole pose, start on hands and knees. Separate your knees wide. Again, the knees are going to slide off the side edges of the mat. Bring your big toes together. Let the hips come forward a little bit so the hips are in line with the knees, versus like in child's pose where the hips sink back toward the heels. Bring it a little bit more forward. Now walk the hands out, lower the head down. Settling into this deeper hip stretch. And again, you may even get here and decide that this doesn't feel great, this is too much. You can always dial it back and take child's pose. Let's hold here for about 3 to 5 more deep breaths. One more full breath. And bring the hands back in, lift the head up. Nice and easy, release, inch the knees back in together. Back in, back in, back in until the knees are side by side. You can tuck the toes and sit back a little toward the heels for a nice toe stretch. Let's hold here for a breath. It's just a nice stretch for the feet, nice stretch for the fascia, the plantar fascia on the feet. Let's release out, removing your blanket, but feel free to keep it close by if you'd like to use it at another point in your practice. From your hands and knees, getting right to it, let's come into downward facing dog, hips up and back. Feel free to stretch out the legs, waking everything up. And down dog is a great way to stretch and release, counter stretch basically, from almost any pose that we do. So this ought to feel pretty good on the legs, and we are internally rotating the hips here versus the pose we just did where we were very much externally rotating the hips. Big inhale, lift the heels up. Exhaling, sink the heels down. Lifting up the right leg high, bend in the knee, open the hip, relax the head down, one breath. And level out the hips and step to low lunge, bring your foot through the hands. Come into warrior one, spin the back heel down, press through, lift the arms. And hook the thumbs. Keep a nice deep bend in the right knee, lengthen the tailbone down, soften the shoulders, angle the eyes upward. Let's hold for a full breath. Looking straight ahead, release the arms behind you, interlace fingers. Let's do a little humble warrior. Keep the right knee bending deep, lengthen forward, round it down, head down, let the arms reach overhead, hold for a full breath. And press through the legs, lift the chest, and bring your hands to the inside of the right foot. Take a little side lunge, Skandasana. Go to the left as you bend deep through the left knee. Stretch the right leg and hold for a deep breath. Take it to warrior two. Press down, lift up, reach the arms out. Look over the right middle finger. Hold for another full breath. We'll straighten out the front leg, adding triangle pose, Trikonasana. Turn the arms, lower the right hand, and lift the left. Look left, maybe peek up and hold for another full breath. Peek down at the front foot. Put a little bend in the right knee as your hands lower again to the inside of the right foot. Travel to the left, come into your wide-legged fold. Prasarita Padottanasana. Parallel the feet to each other and either let your hands lower on the mat right under the shoulders, or you can bend elbows and let your forearms settle down. Keep the hips lifting up, keep the legs nice and strong, relax the toes. Let's hold for another full breath. Let's meet somewhere in the center with hands on the mat, chest up. Come into a low lunge, face the front, pivot, and walk the hands around. Lower the back knee, come into a half split, Ardha Hanuman. And take the left hand outside the right leg for a little twist on the half split. One breath. Take your left hand back over to the left side, low lunge, rebend the right knee. Pigeon pose, slide the right knee through, left leg back, sit tall. And finding length along the spine. If you're good to go, walk the hands out. Lower the head down, and if you need to, you can just turn around, lay down on your back, cross the right ankle over the left as you hug your left leg in, just a reverse figure four. Let's hold for another full breath. Coming out nice and easy, slide the hands in, lift the head up. Roll to the outer right hip and slide the left leg around. The right foot toward the inner left thigh. Take the right hand outside the right leg, lifting into sail pose. Press down and lift up. Reach over. Let's hold for a breath. Lower back down, reach both hands to the left foot for Janu Shirshasana. Use a strap or belt if you like. Give it a full breath. And bringing the hands back in again, return upright. Come back onto hands and knees. Let's meet in downward facing dog. With your next inhale, bring it forward to plank. You can chaturanga or drop the knees. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhaling back to down dog. Lift up the left leg, put a bend in the knee, open the hip, head down. Hold for a breath. And level the hips. Low lunge, step through the hands. Warrior one, Virabhadrasana, right heel spins down, press down, lift, hook the thumbs, angle the eyes upward, lengthen, soften the shoulders, one more breath. Look straight ahead, humble warrior, arms back, interlace fingers, chest up, bring it forward, then round it down. Hold for a full breath when you get there. And we'll keep the legs strong, press down, lower the hands to the inside of the left foot, chest up, side lunge, Skandasana, take it to the right. Bend the right knee, stretch the left leg. We'll hold for a breath. Take it to warrior two as you press down, lift up, reach out, hold for a full breath. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Straighten the front leg, reach, turn the arms, lower the left and lift the right. You can always put a block under the left hand if you choose, or just keep your hand on the shin, or reaching your hand toward the mat if you have the space to do so. Look up. Then peek down, a little bend in the left knee as your hands lower inside the left foot. Travel to the right, Prasarita Padottanasana, your wide-legged fold, either keeping your hands down on the mat as you fold, or hands on the lower leg, or if you did it on the other side, you can also lower the elbows, forearms down as a nice option. Soften the shoulders out of the ears. Keep the crown of the head lengthening toward the mat. Keep the sit bones lifting up, and we'll give it another full breath. We'll meet with hands on the mat, lifting the chest up. Take it to low lunge at the front, pivot. Walk the hands around and lower the back knee. Ardha Hanuman, half split, straightening the left leg. Take the right hand outside the left leg. Hold for a breath. Return the right hand to the right side and bend the left knee. Pigeon pose, slide the left knee through. Right leg back, lengthen, chest up. If you're good to go here, slide the hands out, lower the head down. Of course, you're welcome to use a blanket or a block under the left hip or thigh if there's a lot of space there. You can also, as if you did it on the first side, reverse figure 4, or if the knee on this side just doesn't feel great, modify. Give it another full breath. Coming out, slide the hands in, head up, roll to the outer left hip, bring the right leg around, the left foot toward the inner right thigh, lifting into sail pose. Take the left hand outside the left leg, lift up, right arm over, right leg out, one breath. Janu Shirshasana, lower down and reach both hands to the right foot. Give it another full breath. And releasing out, walk the hands in, bend up at both knees, roll down onto your back, and hug the knees in toward the chest. If it feels good, rock a little side to side. And hug the right knee in toward the chest, straighten the left leg out on the mat. Take a twist, go to the left, drop the right arm out behind you. Keep your right shoulder anchored on the mat and turn your head if you can. Hold for a full breath. Take it back to center, switch, right leg out, hug the left knee in. And take your twist, go to the right. Drop the left arm out behind you. Keep your left shoulder anchored on the mat. You're just going to get a better twist that way. And turn your head to the left if you can. Hold for a breath. Coming back to center, bring the knees in toward the chest. And releasing out the legs on the mat as you settle into a brief Shavasana. Of course, if you have time, stay. Otherwise, try to at least give yourself a minute here, right? Just to let the body relax, restore, and recover.